All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and unpack a deeply counterintuitive reality. Being poor actually costs a premium. We usually just think of poverty as a lack of resources, right? Like an empty bank account. But there's this hidden compounding mathematics to having less. It's a system where lacking money actively forces you to spend more of it. Today, we're going to map out exactly how and why that happens, and look at the mechanics of a cycle that's honestly incredibly difficult to break.
So imagine paying more for everyday life simply because you don't have enough money. It sounds entirely backwards, doesn't it? I mean, it feels deeply unfair. Yet, for millions of people, this isn't some hypothetical thought experiment. It's a grueling day-to-day reality where the absolute basics, your groceries, a car loan, literally just existing in society, come with a massive invisible surcharge.
Section 1. The cost of having less. You see, that constant drain happens in our most everyday expenses: food, loans, transportation. When you don't have financial flexibility, you can't exactly buy in bulk to save money on groceries. You can't qualify for the lowest interest rates, so you end up paying drastically more for the exact same car or personal loan as someone with wealth. You might even be forced to rely on really expensive, inefficient transportation just to get to work every day. Every single transaction carries a penalty for not having money up front. And the absolute crucial point is this: without savings, unexpected expenses instantly become emergencies. A flat tire or a slightly higher heating bill, that's not just a minor annoyance. Without a financial buffer, that small, mundane problem instantly transforms into a catastrophic financial emergency. The margin for error is absolute zero. Section 2. The high-interest debt cycle. I want to walk you through the exact sequence of this cycle, step by step, because it is ruthlessly efficient. Step 1. The emergency happens. Say, the car breaks down, and you desperately need it for work. Step 2. Because there are no savings, you have to borrow money to fix it. Step 3. Because your credit might be stretched, you get hit with high interest rates. And inevitably, when things get tight, late fees start piling up. Which leads us to Step 4. A permanent, long-term burden. You aren't just paying for the car repair anymore, you're paying a constantly growing premium just to keep your head above water. It's an aggressive, compounding cycle.
Section 3. Cheap today, costly tomorrow.
This is the ultimate trap of cheap goods. When you're strapped for cash, you're forced to buy the lowest quality product available. But those products break, they wear out fast, they require frequent replacement. Contrast that with higher quality items. Yes, they cost more upfront, money you probably don't have, but they last significantly longer, ultimately reducing your long-term costs. When poverty forces you to buy cheap today, it actually forces you to spend significantly more over a lifetime. It's a relentless tax on not having upfront capital.
Section 4. The price of lost opportunity. We've talked a lot about out-of-pocket expenses, but what about the massive invisible costs? We're talking education, specialized training, seed money for business ideas, long-term investments. Limited financial resources don't just make today harder, they actively block your access to these wealth-building avenues for tomorrow. Every single dollar spent surviving today is a dollar that cannot be invested in your future. And the brutal reality is this: when opportunities are delayed, building wealth becomes drastically more difficult. It's a cascading, lifelong effect. It's not just that you missed out on an investment or a training program this year, it's that you miss out on the compounding interest and the elevated salary from that training for the next 30 years. Time is the most valuable asset in wealth creation, and this cycle simply strips that time away from you.
Section 5. Breaking the poverty cycle. Breaking the poverty cycle rarely happens overnight. It often begins with small steps. This is absolutely crucial to internalize. Escaping this cycle is a slow, methodical process. It is definitely not an overnight fix. And, realizing that actually takes away some of the intense, paralyzing pressure. Knowledge alone won't solve every single challenge, but it's the prerequisite for making those small steps actually count. So what do those steps actually look like? Let's walk through some practical actions. 1. Learning new skills, trying to inch up your earning potential, however small the increment. 2. Building emergency savings, even if it's literally just a few dollars a week, to create a buffer against that flat tire we talked about earlier. 3. Systematically reducing unnecessary high-interest debt. And 4. Making consistent, informed financial decisions over time. You're basically trying to build momentum, inch by inch, to climb out of the quicksand. But hey, here's the flip side to that compounding debt we looked at earlier. Progress might be slow,
But small improvements compound too. While the climb out is unquestionably steep, these consistent positive financial decisions stack on top of each other. Over time, that compounding creates genuine, lasting, structural change in a person's financial life. Which leaves us with this final thought. What common financial traps can you recognize and avoid today? Whether it's opting to save up for a slightly higher quality item that lasts longer or stashing away a tiny emergency fund to avoid a high-interest payday loan, understanding these hidden costs is your absolute best defense. I really want you to look at your own daily life and see where you can apply this knowledge, because while the system is incredibly tough, recognizing the traps is the very first vital step to walking right past them.